Today I'm going to sort of tear our eyes away from, as fun as it may be, the disaster currently ongoing in the British general election, because quite frankly, the Tories are falling to pieces. Rishi Sunak could be at any moment be about to pull his next show-stopping gaffe, because trust me, we are over halfway through this general election campaign, and it almost feels like anything could happen within the next couple of hours of any given day. Not only that, of course, we've now got Tories openly talking about wanting to do an electoral pact with Farage, as they are now either, in some polls, either joint third, joint second, or slipping into third place. And of course, the panic in the Tory party is now getting considerably very, very real. But we've got to also have a look now at what's going on in France, because Emmanuel Macron himself called a snap general election. And one of the things I often say is I do love the French. They get politics so much better than the your average Brit here does. I've said it before about when Macron versus Le Pen. The left did not like, Macron. They absolutely hated Le Pen. So when it came time to vote, they voted for Macron because, hey, they would rather him than Le Pen. And now we've got this upcoming action where now we have French left-wing parties, all of them very differing views, as you will see in a moment, all coming together to create a popular front to take on the far right in this election. I will say this now. The left in the UK would never do this. They would descend into infighting, bickering. They would not be able to negotiate, compromise, or anything like that. So good on the French here. And I think it is well worth a lesson that we in the UK and we in the UK left really, really need to take on board. So, as always, before we do get on into this, please do click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, the one-off donation called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button. And of course, as always, there is the Pony Club down below as well. So let's crack on then into this. This comes from The Guardian, with the title of French left-wing parties form a popular front to contest snap general elections. So, France's four main left-wing parties have now agreed to form a new popular front, or the NPF, to contest the snap general election. And they will be campaigning on a joint platform and fielding a single candidate in every constituency. So the fact that they are able to do that, get on a joint platform and agree to a single candidate in every constituency, is very, very good. Because I've said before, even if we do, let's say we do get into the voting system that we all want here in the UK to change to PR. I've said it before, the centrist parties are going to be the big parties. Meanwhile, the left, if it does go away and create its own, socialist party, etc., if it ever wants to get into power, it will have to compromise. It will have to negotiate with either left centrists or even right centrist parties if it ever wants to get into power or even achieve anything. I do worry that the UK left would never do that, because so far they have not shown any tendencies that they would actually do that at the moment. Meanwhile, you've got this happening in France. And of course, the Macron example as well. So, anyway, back to it. So, the Socialist Party, the Greens, the Communists, and even France Unbowed, led by the hard left firebrand Jean-Le Mélenchon, as I say it, also said that they've reached an agreement after several days of very difficult talks and would present their manifesto later on Friday. They said that a new page of French history has now been written, they said in a joint statement, with their leader tweeting, with warmest congratulations to the thanks of our negotiators who have had 4 sleepless nights, deciding on a program and candidates. Politicians from the alliance have said that politics agreed include lowering the retirement age, which Macron had raised in a very unpopular change last year, linking salaries to inflation, and introducing a wealth tax for the rich. Ian Boset, the commissariat communist senator, said that the retirement change, which led to mass street protest, would be annulled and the French pension age would be turned to 60. The LF, the MP, Francis Ruffian, said that the left could now, quote, start a campaign with the aim of winning. Polls do suggest that the NFP, the National Popular Front, a repeat of the NUPE's left-green alliance formed in France's over 2022 parliamentary elections, is unlikely to beat Marie Le Pen's far-right National Party, or which is about 33% of the vote. But, this is the but, it could capture more than 25%, giving it more than enough deputies in the 577 National Assembly to prevent both Macron's centrist coalition and forecast to lose over half its MPs. The RN, which could then double its tally from forming a sustainable majority. So this is where it would have to go and work with Macron's party, his centrist coalition. Bear in mind, to keep out Marie Le Pen and the rest of the far right, I think Macron would do that. I think, they would also do that if we meant they could get in power as well. But of course, they would have to compromise on a lot of stuff. Of course, you're already seeing a flashpoint there with the lowering of the French retirement age. They might have to compromise on that. You might not get everything you want, but what you do get is worth fighting for. Pick and choose your battles, be smart about them, don't die on a hill when you know later down the line you could get a lot more wins. Don't waste your political capital fighting for stuff that you could spend, or far better spend, later down the road. So, and I'll be very interested, by the way, if you are French, what do you think to this alliance? Do you think it is possible? Do you think it could happen? This Macron and this left wing sort of unification drive, the NFP, could it work? Could it be a significant alliance? Might be. Does seem like it. So back to it. So as in Noops, the left-green alliance worked together in 2020 before the leadership struggle. Macron's polarizing tactics and political differences, notably over the Israel-Hamas conflict in the Middle East, triggered its de facto collapse. Macron then called a snap ballot, which will be held over 2 rounds on the 30th of July and, of course, the 7th. The last Saturday, after his European elections suffered a crushing defeat at the hands of the RN, managing less than half of the far-right party's score. The infighting has now continued in the center-right Les Republicans party of the former President Jacques Chirac and Nicolas Sarkozy after his president Eric Kulloch announced the surprise alliance with the NR. That is, of course, something else worth bringing up. He seems to have been booted from the party. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure I read somewhere that there were moves by by that party. I suppose you would call them the traditional conservatives, although I know they're not. French politics, very, very radically different to anything else. So I do apologize to any French if I'm getting that wrong, but I'm just trying to know that there are other people viewing, and I'm trying to sort of give them the best way I can to describe how you would describe Les Republicans. But yeah, I do not think he is the leader anymore. I know that when he announced this sort of alliance, I know there are a lot of people in that party very, very upset with that. Whether that will last, I don't know, but I cannot see that party maintaining that stance because there seem to be a lot of people upset on that. So it continues. So this then prompted the rest of the party's leadership to then, as we said, vote him out of office on Friday. Collett said on Thursday that he was still the party leader, dismissing the effort to oust him as illegal, and quibbles with the little battles by mediocre people who understand nothing. Oh, interesting then. So he did get booted out, and he's just refusing to stand down. A fun time for French politics then. Anyway, Claudius also called his opponent's vote a complete takeover, an attempt that said he was now challenging its validity in court. The Paris tribunal would be expected to examine the case later on Friday, judicial sources told the Anglia-France press. Speaking on BMF TV on Friday morning, Jordan Bovada, the NN's 28-year-old president and probable prime minister, should the far-right party win a majority in parliament, said that the right-wing alliance would field a joint candidate in roughly over 70 constituencies. We'll see if that happens. if that court case does hold and that vote does hold, I can't see that that going on and that happening and that alliance happening for long. But once again, very well worth bringing up here that you have this popular front now forming of left-wing parties over in France that could, if it achieves, quite a lot. Remember, guys, look at what the Liberal Party in Canada got from Justin Trudeau. The Serfs did a fantastic video about that, showing just what Jagmeet Singh got from those negotiations by supplying that confidence agreement, by agreeing to prop up Justin Trudeau's government. They were able to get a lot of progressive things done. Now, they had to compromise on a lot of the stuff. They didn't get everything they wanted, but they got quite a lot. So, once again, remember that lesson. You know, be willing to compromise, be willing to talk, be willing to negotiate. Because you never know what you might be able to get from those negotiations. You might have to give up some stuff, but other stuff you might be able to get and even win on. So we'll see what happens with these French elections, but this will be something very interesting to keep an eye on to see how this Popular Front does in these upcoming elections. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, there are links down below, the Patreon page, the Buy Me Coffee link, etc. You know the drill. And of course, click the like and share button on your way out. And of course, we'll see you all next time.